Hi, and welcome to today's reading. So today's reading is the ultimate relationship reading. So we're going to be looking at your person's thoughts, their feelings, what their next course of action is, what your best course of action is, and what kind of outcome is going to be with this relationship. What kind of relationship is it, basically? So that said, anything you need to know about me is going to be in the description. That includes timestamps. The news, the channel schedule will be at the very end. I'll keep that as a timestamp if you want to fast forward to that. One way you can really help me is by sharing this with a friend, liking, subscribing, and commenting, okay? That lets YouTube know that I'm putting out positive content that's helpful, okay? So any kind of feedback you want to leave would be great, okay? Let's go ahead and get started on this reading though, okay? So we have 5 different decks, okay? So these are all tarot decks. They just have slightly different variations to them. You can pick it by color, you can pick it by number, you can pick it just whatever way you want to pick, okay? All right, so pile number 1 is the Crystal Visions Tarot. Pile number 2 is the Love Tarot. Pile number 3 is the Rider-Waite Tarot. This is just a smaller deck. That's it. But it's my favorite of the Rider-Waite decks that I own. So I'm sorry. Pile number 3 is a Rider-Waite deck. Pile number 4 is the Gilded Tarot by Ciro Marchetti. And pile number 5 is the Wildwood Tarot. Okay. So go ahead and if you haven't picked yet, pause the video so you can kind of look at them and figure out which one you want to go with. And we're going to go ahead and start with the first pile, okay? So I'm just going to get these out of the way a little bit here. Okay, guys. Hi, pile number 1. What I'm going to do, all of these have been pre-shuffled, but I'm going to shuffle it once like that, and then I'm going to cut the deck once, okay? So you know that this has really been shuffled. Okay, so the first question we're going to ask is, what is your person thinking about this relationship, okay? What is on their mind, okay? Okay, so we have the Ten of Wands, which is like they feel like they've fruition, and they're going to get some kind of reward out of this, or they've put some work into this, like, but it's been behind the scenes, and they're thinking about how they want something out of this relationship for them. You know, I mean, I think that's a pretty normal expectation of a relationship. This is more towards like actually taking action though. Okay, so that's good. They're thinking about taking action. They're thinking about positive things. The Knight of Swords. Okay, so this is a very cerebral card. We're talking about communication. Okay, so they're thinking about the communication right now. They're also thinking that they kind of want to talk to you really quickly. Okay, so don't be surprised if they get a hold of you really quickly soon or something like that. That's what's on their mind. And then they have Judgment. But the Judgment card's in reverse, you see. So with Judgment, we talk about Judgment as usually as being a signifier of wanting to go home. Or wanting to go somewhere else, basically. In this relationship right now, I feel like you might think that they want something else, or they want someone else, is more my impression with this. They don't want that person. If that's something that you're watching this and you're kind of thinking about, they don't want anybody else. Either there's nobody there, or they don't even want to go back to that. So if there's some kind of like ex situation or something like that, they're not interested in that person. But the Ten of Wands and the Knight of Swords, for the rest of you that it applies to, because not everybody's going to be feeling that Judgment in reverse, lets us know that this person is ready and willing to take some kind of action. They do want this to come about. They are feeling very passionate about it. This is something that they're willing to put a lot of creative energy into, and it's something that they want to talk to. They really want to talk to you. They're thinking a lot about communication. Okay, so their feelings. Okay, we've got the Unknown card. That's really interesting. We've got the Seven of Swords, and we have the Hanged Man. Now, not all decks have this, but this particular deck does, and I had forgotten about it actually. So I think it's really, really interesting how this comes up. With the Unknown card that some decks have, okay, it's supposed to symbolize that we just don't know. We don't know the answer here, okay? So I feel like right now, where their feelings are is they're in between something, okay? I don't mean they're in between two people or something like that, but they're in between trying to figure out how they feel, okay? And where that is the Seven of Swords, where they're feeling like, ooh, I could kind of like, maybe this could be something that hurts me, eventually. Maybe this is something that could end in my own defeat. And then we've got the Hanged Man. It's like, or I could start thinking about this from a kind of a different angle. And that indicates that it's like, they're trying to stay positive about it, but they've got some issues. And so emotionally, they're trying to make their emotions make sense, which is, it just doesn't work like that. Emotions don't make sense. They're not supposed to make sense. They're not logical. They're not rational. I think about that cerebral card we got at the very beginning. This person's probably more comfortable in their thoughts than in their hearts. Not that they don't have a heart, but just that they're probably more comfortable talking about more rational, logical things like that. They might not be the kind of person that is more on the side of the intuitive and emotional aspects, right? But we do have somebody who does look at love, looks at relationships as having the potential to hurt them. So emotionally, they're feeling vulnerable. Emotionally, they're also feeling like this is new. This is something I've never seen before. This is something that I'm looking at this turns my world upside down, basically. This has totally taken me by surprise and has really helped me see some major differences. And when I say major difference, I mean like they're looking at the world as being very different from what they thought it was because they know you, okay? So you've definitely made an emotional impression. They just don't know what that is. I feel like they're afraid to name it yet. And that bodes very well for a relationship when you've got somebody who does want to sit there and analyze what's going on inside of them, somebody who's more introspective. And they're willing to kind of take some time to sort out their emotions instead of come forward with it and kind of wear their hearts on their sleeves and just give you an update every second that they have a feeling. The negative side of that is just that as the other person in the relationship, you kind of like are left feeling like, well, I don't know where I stand. Well, the reason you don't know where you stand is because they're not quite certain exactly what to name it. They just know it's different from anything they've ever experienced, and it is something that they feel very vulnerable about. They know they can get really hurt. Okay, so what their next course of action is going to be. Okay, so this is very helpful. So we've got the Page of Swords. One of their next course of action is going to be trying to communicate with you. Of course, it's gonna what their thoughts are and their feelings. What's going on right now. Just like we had the Knight of Swords earlier, it's gonna come out a little bit more awkward than they mean for it to. They might stumble over their words. It might be completely adorable, but understand that their next course of action is to have a conversation with you. Okay, and I do feel like I do feel that this is going to be something that I feel like this is something that's going to be more emotional than cerebral, because I feel like they already share that cerebral side of themselves. And this feels like kind of a big deal, like a big conversation. And they're a little cautious, though. They don't want to put too much of their soul into it, only because they don't want to appear too eager. They don't want to appear like they've totally lost their heads, which is like kind of the way they feel. They kind of feel like, oh my gosh. They don't want to appear like they're being silly, basically. Okay? But you're going to be able to see through that, okay? You're going to be able to see that they are feeling kind of impassioned and kind of silly and all of that. They basically don't want to be too dramatic, okay? And then we have the World, but we do have it in reverse. That's okay. All that means is that their next course of action is with the understanding that they don't know if they can give you everything you need. And one of the best things you can do in this situation, we are going to draw for that as well, what your best course of action is. But just looking at this, I can say they just need reassurance that they are who you want. Now, some of you guys might have some issues with that because maybe this person isn't being who you want, and maybe they aren't what you want. But if you feel that they can provide you with that kind of the kind of relationship that you're looking for, make sure that you let them know. You don't even have to be like, oh, you could be the world to me. You don't have to say it like that. All you have to do is be like, you know what, I really like it when you do this, or I really like it when you do that. I think you're so funny when you make these jokes, you know, or you said something the other day that's really got my attention. I've been thinking about it, you know, that kind of thing. Let them know that they're a part of your world and that they are giving you something. Because when they're getting that feedback that they're giving you something, then they know that they can kind of keep bringing that to you, and you'll continue to be happy with them, that kind of stuff. So what is your best course of action? Okay, so we've got the Hermit in reverse. We've got the Four of Cups. All right. And we've got the Eight of Pentacles. So this is great. The Eight of Pentacles is in reverse though. So basically what I'm getting is that you've been doing a lot of reflecting on this relationship. You think about it a lot. It's something that you've kind of sought some guidance on. And I'm not just talking about this video. I'm just talking about, you know, your own inner wisdom and that kind of stuff. This is something that the 8 cards can sometimes show even obsessive energy, more in like that more hyper-focused way, less and less of that kind of like being obsessed with like something in an unhealthy way. But this can be like the workaholic card, for example. But the Eight of Pentacles, it shows that you've put a lot of work into thinking about it and trying to figure out how to make this work and trying to make sure that you're doing your part and all of that kind of stuff. And when we've got the Four of Cups coming out too, with these 2 cards that are very intense, you know, which show a lot of, I'm going to use that word again, introspection. I feel like your best course of action is allowing it to happen without you trying to take action right now. Because with the Hermit and with the Eight of Pentacles, you've got this kind of like, I feel like you're so honed in on it that maybe you're not seeing it perfectly clear. One thing about the Hermit is that while the Hermit does look in that inner light within, they also don't have other people to kind of reinforce what they're thinking or as a sounding board, for example. I feel like right now it's kind of time to turn outwards and try to start noticing things that don't have to do with the relationship, but just has to do with like just things that make you happy. And try to let the relationship take the back seat. I know that might be very challenging, but try to make the relationship take that back seat so that you can kind of get into this kind of non-attached state. Because that's the best energy for you right now, because remember, your person needs to come forward. Your person needs to talk to you about something. They're going to be making the next step. And what is the final outcome of this relationship? Wow. So we've got the Star, we've got the Devil. Okay. And we have the Page of Pentacles. Okay. So this is going to manifest. This is going to end up happening. I mean, whatever's going on between you, it's not over yet. It's still gonna keep coming. With the Devil here, this isn't necessarily a bad thing. This is kind of referencing the Eight of Pentacles energy that we saw before, the Eight of Pentacles and the Hermit energy, right? With the Devil, we've got that kind of overindulgence kind of thing. And it's like you guys are very tempted by one another. You guys really want to indulge in the other person. This might be the kind of relationship that might have the potential of becoming codependent. So keep that in mind. The thing about the Devil that I think is really interesting in, most cards, of course, this one's, depicted a little bit different, is that the people in the image, the Devil, they have chains around their necks in the traditional Rider-Waite tarot, basically. And what's interesting about it is they could always just remove the chains and walk away, right? So it's almost like they're kind of getting in their own way, or they're self-sabotaging a little bit. So also keep that in mind. Understand that there are other things out there. The Star in reverse, for me, I think it's a better card in reverse in this particular spread than it is in the upright position, because the Star in reverse, we going back and saying, look, this person's feeling really vulnerable and all of that kind of stuff. When the Star is in the upright position, you've got a lot of vulnerability. You've got somebody who basically this happens right after the Tower. The Tower is the card before this, and then you've got somebody who's basically got nothing, and they're completely innocent again, but because of that innocence, they're also vulnerable to being hurt. But when you put it in reverse, you still have that energy of the Star, that big, bright, shining light, and the hope, and all of that great stuff, but we don't have that vulnerability so much there. So the outcome is that your person's going to be able to feel a lot more secure in this relationship soon enough, which is going to then translate into that outpouring of giving their emotions towards you, and being able to communicate that with you. The Page of Pentacles lets me know that this is going to manifest. It's it's going to be a little sloppy at first. It's not going to go perfectly, but I don't think that would be a problem. The only thing that I would be aware of as being a potential negative is that the two of you might kind of be too into each other, and kind of and you can help that by finding what you are interested in that doesn't involve that person, so that you can constantly be bringing new information into the relationship, and they can have their own thing and bring that into the relationship, so that you keep your separate identities, if that makes sense. So yeah, this very positive, very good. Alrighty. Hi guys, those of you who picked pile number 2, these decks have been pre-shuffled, but I'm going to just shuffle it one more time and then cut the deck so that you actually see me shuffling it, so you know that. So we're going to begin with your person's thoughts. So what are they thinking right now? Okay, so we have the King of Roses, and we've got this in reverse. So we've got the King of Roses is like a motivator, is a kind of can sometimes be a little dramatic, but we've got them in reverse. Okay, we've got the Empress in reverse, and we've got the Prince of Wings in reverse. That's kind of interesting. Okay, so what I feel is going on here is that we've got a lot of creative energy here that's being stifled. Okay, so what's on their thoughts is that they want more out of the situation. Okay, they want more out of the situation, and they don't really know how to ask for that. Okay, what they like and what they feel is lacking is sometimes they feel like when they go to you, it's almost like they feel like you're maybe complaining about something, or that you're not so happy with them about something. And this can look like, when somebody's not like on the ball all the time and not always doing what we expect and what we want of them to do, it can sometimes come across like we're always unhappy with them when we're just trying to, like, why didn't you call? I told you to do that thing like 300 times, that kind of stuff. I feel like it's kind of like that stuff. Like you're not even aware that it sounds critical, but it's like your person kind of feels like they, they feel kind of like they need to know that what they do matters, So for example, instead of saying, why haven't you called? One thing you could say is, oh, it's so good to hear from you. Another thing that you can do is start out your statement by giving them a benefit of the doubt, like, oh, you probably forgot, but it was important to me, or give them an out, basically, because basically if you're telling them, oh, it's great to hear from you, I was really hoping to hear from you, and when I didn't, I was worried, but now, oh, it feels so good. And that kind of stuff. You're telling him that things feel good, that you're happy with him, with them, that your person is doing the things that they need, and that motivation will start coming back to them, and they'll start to be able to give some more grand gestures of the way that they're feeling and all of that. This is really weighing heavy on their minds. And with the challenger here, it's like they don't want to get into any kind of arguments with you. They want things to go smoothly. I don't feel like it's an avoidant thing, though. I don't feel like they're not wanting to get into arguments with you, like they're avoiding negativity. I just see it as like they don't want to fail in this relationship. They just don't want to fail, and they want to be reassured that they're okay, and that kind of thing. All right, so what's their feelings here? Oh, okay. All right, so one thing that they really like about you, let me read this here. Determination. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, so one thing that they really like about you is that you are a good mirror for them when it comes to them being a little bit more cerebral oriented, maybe more thinking oriented, that kind of stuff. You're more soft. And they like that about you. But another thing that they like about you that's kind of hidden underneath that softness and that heart that you have, that you're able to give, is this kind of very analytical person who helps inspire change within them. And so emotionally, they feel that warmth from you, but they also feel so thankful that you are able to have like really substantial conversations, that you're able to meet them on that intellectual level, and sometimes probably most of the time even exceed them, and that kind of stuff. So they're really grateful for that. They also feel really balanced in this in a way that they're not feeling like they have to make a big choice or anything. They feel like things can be positive. I do think that this is, when we put this though into, we also think about their thoughts. I think that this also kind of indicates that they do have faith that things are going to work out between the two of you, whatever's going on there with their thoughts of being, maybe like they're feeling like maybe you don't care as much as they'd like you to, and that kind of stuff. They do have faith in the relationship itself. And then the determination is like they want to make this happen. They want to make sure that they want this basically with you. If this person, for example, is a crush and maybe you haven't talked yet, it's an indicator that this person will want something with you. Okay. They've got their mind made up, definitely, and their heart made up. They're not conflicted in any way about that. And they know they want to move forward with this. It's just this little thing that they're thinking about over here, where they're just kind of worried that maybe they can't make you happy. Okay. All right, so what is their next course of action? Okay, so they've got some, oh, this is great. Oh, look at this. You just can't even make this up. Look at this. We've got the lovers, and then we've got the Queen of Roses reinforcing lover. Oh wait, no, it's the leader, but it's still very good. He's going to take the lead there here. Okay, I thought it said the lover, but then I reread it, and then we've got the obsession. So here's another thing that's kind of going on. They're thinking about you a lot more than you realize. That you are constantly on their mind, constantly on their heart. But they know that that's not getting anything done. So what they're going to do is they want to kind of solidify this relationship with you. They're very attracted to you. This might be just a kind of nod towards that physical consummation of this kind of thing. But I'm getting the feeling that this is just the best card to show you that their next action is going to bring the two of you together. So that you guys can agree that you guys are partners. You guys are with one another. And then we've got the leader. I really feel like this, because this is for this is for your person. And I apologize if I'm using pronouns. Sometimes I do that and I don't mean to. But your person wants to take the lead, okay? And I really feel like it's time to kind of step back and let them take that lead, because it's their time to do that. And just trust that that's going to happen. All you need to do is let them know that it would make you very happy if they continue to interact with you, that kind of thing. Okay, so your best course of action. So we've got, okay, the visionary. That's good, that creative energy. And then we've got privacy in reverse. Okay, this is good. Okay, so when you communicate with them, okay, we've got the Princess of Wings in reverse, okay, and that's the messenger, okay, just so you see that. When you're communicating with them, sometimes what you're talking about is more about yourself and what's going on with you. And of course, like, how can you talk about your person? You know, you don't know what's going on with them so much, you know, they should be volunteering that, right? Ask them some questions. They want to know that you're curious about them. And then we've got the visionary. When I think about the visionary, when I think about the King of Shells here, I think about a lot of not only emotional receptivity, but also about that creative energy that comes with that emotional receptivity. So what I'm trying to say here is, again, show them that you are in a positive place emotionally so that they can feel real secure knowing that they can make you happy. Okay, that's your best course of action. And with the Four of Wings and privacy here, it's okay. And it's in reverse. You know, it's okay to ask about themselves. Okay, you're not going to be overstepping or anything like that. Just how have you been doing? You know, that kind of stuff. I mean, that'll just open them up. Okay, so the final outcome, we have the Seven of Roses here. We've got the Six of Roses. Okay, and then we have the Four of Roses. So I'm going to definitely need to clarify this, but let's just kind of look at this. All of these are in reverse. Okay, that doesn't mean that that this isn't true. It's just that it's kind of like a more shadow aspect of this. So we've got courage, victory, and respect. Okay, all of these are very positive things. Sometimes when we see the shadow aspect of things, what we see is instead of courage, we see maybe somebody who's motivated by anxiety. So instead of stepping up and being like, I want to be with you, instead they're so worried that they might lose you that they'll come up and be like, I want to be with you. I can't be without you, that kind of thing. Do you see? And then we've got victory. So instead of just kind of coming out and claiming what's yours and all of that, you see this relationship getting to the point where it's in that real positive place, but it's not always there. And it's not a real big, bold thing. It's just, it's there. The victory is there. The positivity, the celebration that the two of you are together. And then we've got the respect, but we've got that in reverse. I feel like there's some, again, I just feel like there's some fear coming through in this relationship. And I really think the way to heal that is to make sure that you're giving them the impression and letting them know. I mean, as long as it's true. I mean, don't show it to them if it's not true, but letting them know that they totally can make you happy, that kind of thing. So let me go ahead and ask clarifying. Okay, so can we be a little bit more specific about the final outcome of this relationship? Okay, this is a good one. And then okay. All right. So one thing is that this person's not just trying, they're not playing you. Okay. If you're worried that your person just wants something physical or something like that, they're not playing you. They're not trying to come across as being, sensual or anything like that. Not that they don't feel that, it's just that they're not trying to do that. With passage, we see a transition happening, that wherever you are right now, it's going to get to a better place. And then we also have this kind of, it's not really a warning so much as it is like, kind of like, oh, and also, by the way, be sure to understand that both you and this person can sometimes get real caught up in what's going on inside the head, okay, and the heart and everything, and not so much land in your body. It's like, what is actually really happening here? And just understand that this wants to happen. It wants to be good. But I just feel like there's some anxiety and fear here that might make it feel like there's something about this that's not quite real. The energy's there. It is real. It's just, sometimes it doesn't feel that way because it's so much lived with both of you in your head and in your hearts. So by making it more real, as I'm saying, what you can do is just make sure you're communicating that. I'm always surprised by how little people say about how they're feeling to a person that they really care about. There is too little love and positive regard in the world for us to hold any of it back that we have. At least that's my philosophy, I know it can be scary to say, you know what, I really like you, or to say like, I really enjoy spending time with you, or whatever it is. We can get rejected and all of that kind of stuff. But seriously, the world needs more of that. We really do. It would be so much easier. And I know that that's like, can be easier said than done, because sometimes we have our issues and we have the things that we've been taught. It's like, ooh, I can't do that, and whatever. And I respect that. That's fine. I'm just saying that that's how to get this feeling more real, is to be able to, be vulnerable with your emotions and tell your person how you're feeling and what you think about the situation and that kind of stuff. All right. Because they'll be right there. But yeah, just keep that in mind, It looks really positive. It's going somewhere positive. This person does not want to get away from you. They certainly have feelings for you. They're thinking about you a lot and all of that kind of stuff. It's just about making sure that you're nurturing the relationship and that your actions are aligned with your words, that kind of stuff. All right? Okay. Hi. Pile number 3, those of you who picked the Rider-Waite Tarot. Now, all of these decks were pre-shuffled, but I'm shuffling them a little bit here at the very beginning of the reading, so you guys know I'm not kidding. I'm going to cut the deck. All right, let's get started. All right, guys. So first we have their thoughts. What are their thoughts? Okay. Wow. So they're feeling pretty good. They're feeling pretty good. One of the things that one of the things that they're thinking about is how they wish this kind of happened sooner, that kind of thing. Or it might be something like they feel like they've wasted their time getting to this point. But they're thinking about you as being part of. I mean, when they're thinking about the relationship, they're thinking about that as just a given. Like, obviously, this is going to happen. Obviously, this is something positive. Obviously, this is something great. They've already integrated you into their idea of what the future looks like for them. Okay, you might find that they might seem a little bit. They might seem like this can sometimes come across as being a little critical, but they're trying to be playful, I promise. They're trying to be playful. And so right now they put a lot of thought into the little jokes that they say and some of the Sometimes they kind of get on to you about little things, but it might feel like it's like if it was said with a different kind of tone, it could be taken really badly. But I feel like they really just want to be real playful with you, and they put a lot of thought into coming up with those kinds of things that they want to say to you like that. You are definitely on their mind. One thing, and I try to avoid saying it because it's so cliche, but I mean, one thing when you get the world and you get this in a love reading is like, you're the world to them, but it really is, it's the best way of putting it. You're the world to them. So of course they've got you on their mind and all of that. The only thing with the Six of Cups in reverse, and this is not a negative thing, it's just they wish that they met you sooner. That's it. They wish that they met you sooner. They wish that they hadn't wasted so much time either with other people or maybe even in this particular situation. That's also something on their mind. Okay, so what are their feelings? All right. Oh, wow, this is actually really good. Again, we have this very future looking card where they are planning that they're going to be with you. They're planning, like, emotionally, they're feeling very fired up. They're feeling passionate. They're feeling positive. Sometimes they worry that they might get a little stuck in their in like maybe a negative situation. I feel like they might have some issues that might be coming with this, but because this is in reversed, I see this as kind of like not as a big deal as if the Eight of Swords was in the upright position, right? Because that's not a very good place to be. But when you've got it in the reverse, it's like there's a fear that this is going to happen, right? There's a fear of them getting stuck in a maybe kind of like an anxiety cycle or not knowing what to do kind of thing. And then we've got Strength in reverse, which is like, this lets me know that emotionally they're struggling with trying to manage how they're feeling with not appearing to, they want to appear to you like they've got everything under control, right? I mean, if this person can control a lion, they can control just about anything, right? They want to appear that they've got everything under control, but they know they don't. They know that they're just head over heels. They're just really, really into you and all of that kind of stuff. So do understand that emotionally they're feeling a little out of control right now. But that's actually kind of a good thing when we're talking about a relationship. That attraction, oh, it's definitely there though. It's really interesting. And they're associating that, like, I feel attracted. I feel, I feel like this person's a part of my future and that kind of thing. This is something that they're interpreting as part of their feelings, okay? So even if this is more of a physical kind of attraction right now for them, they see that as evidence that they feel love and they feel positive about this relationship, okay? So do understand that that's there. I don't want to leave that out. So what's their next course of action going to be? Oh, wow. Okay, they're going to be coming out of their shells. This is great. Okay, so they're going to be coming out of their shells with the Hermit in reverse. It's like they've done their contemplating. They've gone within. They've figured out what's going on, and they're going to be coming out of their shells. And look at this. I call this the Happily Ever After card because doesn't that look like the last page of a storybook, right? So their next course of action is to try to manifest this. They're gonna be open with their feelings. It might actually come across as a little bit too much all at once for you, but they are going to be coming forward with their feelings. And then with the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, I do see that there's some anxiety about maybe one of you being in a place, and this doesn't necessarily have to be financial. It could just be like in a different class as them. Maybe it's interracial. There's just some kind of difference, some kind of divide that they're worried about. It could be something like it could be something so small. Or it could be something as big as they worry, like maybe they have a lot of money and you don't. They don't want to sound like weird about it, or they're aware that you're in an interracial coupling, but they don't want to draw attention to it. It's like that. It's like they don't want, maybe there's a big age difference or something. They don't want that to be a problem. They want to make sure that you know that. And this can also come up sometimes when we've got like a situation where you guys know one another from work and one of you might be the boss or something like that. This can come up in relationships like that. But they're trying to even that out, okay? They want to know, they want to show you that you're on equal footing, basically, and that there's not any issues with that, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. Sometimes I get these messages and I'm like, I hope they know what I'm talking about, because I don't. But yeah, I mean, they're feeling good. They're going to make this, they want this to happen, okay? And that's their next course of action, is coming out and trying to make this happen with you. Okay, what your best course of action is. Okay, we've got the High Priestess, we've got the Ten of Wands, and we've got the Fool in reverse. Okay, so this is an interesting thing to get, because it's kind of telling you, be cautious, be receptive. And I say be cautious because, we've got a guy that's about to go off a cliff, right? He's in reverse. They're just like, hey, wait, make sure you've put each foot in front of you and there's something to land on there, That doesn't mean that you can't go out and just begin your journey together. It's just make sure that you've got a firm foundation first, right? So keep building on that foundation. Build on the friendship, okay? With the Ten of Wands, we say everything's just coming together, okay? Trust that everything's coming together, because this isn't so much a card for you to act on as much as it for you to know, because the biggest influencer I feel in this is the High Priestess that's willing to be very, very receptive, go with their intuition, go with kind of that inner wisdom. Okay. And so it's like, I feel like you're the kind of person that might get a lot of dreams about your person. Pay attention to those, the symbols in that and what that represents for you. You might kind of just think of your person here and there. That means something, okay? Pay attention to the coincidences, that kind of stuff, because they're telling you something. It's almost like you're being led in this. So I almost want to say your best course of action is to use your own discretion, right? Because it just understanding that this is going to happen whether you make it happen or not, and also just being aware that, we've just got to make sure that this is built on something that's very firm, okay? And then the final outcome of your relationship. Okay, so we've got the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, we've got Temperance in reverse, and we've got Justice. Okay, this is kind of an interesting dynamic, because for me, Justice and Temperance have a lot of the similarities. Where this is going is that we've got a situation here. I want to make sure that I say it right, because I don't want it to sound too weird. We've got a situation where one person is holding this relation up a little bit more than the other. But that's not a bad thing. I don't see it as being negative, because that's what's supposed to happen. Because it's like we have the balance of justice, and we've got this idea of justice and mercy both. That something has happened that's supposed to happen, that is, it's followed all the laws of logic and all the laws of reasoning and the laws of love and emotion and the laws of the universe and that kind of stuff. You get what you put into it and that kind of stuff. It's very balanced. That's what I'm kind of getting there. But with the Temperance, I'm just getting that one person is kind of holding this up a little bit more. And I feel like this might be even a dynamic that kind of repeats itself between the two of you, that sometimes maybe you're the one that holds up the relationship and sometimes they are. But I feel like that's okay, okay? And then with the Queen of Pentacles here in reverse, okay, it's like I feel like there's some kind of, I kind of feel the same way about this as I felt about the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, only it's kind of saying it in a bigger way, right? It's just that whatever like division there is between the two of you that might feel like an obstacle. It could be a long distance relationship. That could be another thing that is happening. It's going to go away. It's going to resolve itself on its own. Or maybe the two of you think that it's a bigger deal than it actually is. I do want to draw some clarifying cards for the end result, because I just want to make sure that we get a really clear final outcome. So yeah, we just need a little bit more information about this outcome here. Okay, yeah. This is great. So you have the Lovers, right? I think that's pretty clear. You know, you guys are going to come together. You guys are going to be in a relationship and everything. We've got the Moon in reverse. Anything that's being hidden right now, any kind of emotions, and I don't feel like this is necessarily a secretive thing, but I just feel like, you know, we don't like... We all have filters, right? We don't want to just say everything that's on our mind. I feel like everything's going to come to light, okay? And you'll be able to get to that comfortable place where you're able to tell each other everything and that kind of stuff. So, I mean, this is one of the best outcomes you could have. I mean, this is great. So, yeah, this is a good situation there. Righty. Right, hi, those of you who picked the Gilded Tarot by Ciro Marchetti. Okay, now I've already pre-shuffled all of these decks, but I just want to show you guys that, yes, I'm shuffling it. And then I'm going to cut it once, just so you can see. Okay. All right, so let's get started with your reading. So, your thoughts, okay? What is your person's thoughts right now? Okay, so we have the King of Pentacles in reverse, we have the Star, and we have the King of Cups. Wow, this person is feeling so positive for you. I know we're talking about thoughts, but they're thinking about their feelings. They're thinking about, like, one of the things that this person might actually be more of a heart-oriented person than a head-oriented person, and so, like, their feelings kind of bleed in to their head. Now, looking at this person, you might not think that, okay? But this person is very, very tenderhearted. They're thinking about how they're feeling about you, which is positive, okay? The King of Pentacles, I feel like there's some kind of struggle with money there, okay? Either that or either they're thinking about there's some kind of struggle with money, there's some kind of struggle with resources, or they're worried that you might think that, okay? Just keep that in mind, and they have a lot of hope in this relationship with the Star here. And we also have, with the Star, we also have vulnerability. So they are feeling very vulnerable right now, and they're thinking about how they're vulnerable. Again, you know, I know I'm using that word feel, but it's just, this person is such a feeling-oriented person that it feels kind of hard to say, well, they're thinking about how they're, it's like that's what's going on. So yeah, they're thinking about how much they care about you. They're thinking about how they're having some kind of like resource problem. I would say most likely it's something having to do with managing their money, but it could be just any kind of resource. Okay, they just feeling like they're not as in control. But they do have hope, okay? And the hope can be either about this financial situation, but since we're talking about the whole relationship here, what are their thoughts about their whole relationship? They see a future there, but they're also thinking about how they are feeling vulnerable, okay? They are looking for direction, and they're probably finding it too. But yeah, just kind of keep that in mind. Their feelings, though. Oh, that's so sweet. The Six of Cups. I love the Six of Cups coming up as feelings. Ooh, the Six of Wands. So we've got two cards having to do with balance. And then we've got the World. Okay, so your person is feeling, I'm sorry, the World came up actually in reverse. And I'm just really picky about that because we're just using a tarot deck. So we're doing reverses in this. So with the Six of Cups coming up, I always think of this as just such a sweet, like almost childlike awe, with you. They're feeling like they're small again, like they're very lighthearted. They just want to do something sweet for you. They might want to give you a gift, but they might feel like it might be too small, that kind of thing as well. But they're feeling like this relationship is really balanced. They like the stuff that you're giving and they want to give too. If you're feeling like the relationship isn't so balanced, just know that they are trying to get to that point, okay? Because we've got 2 6 cards, and the 6 cards are all about balance, okay, in the tarot. The 6 of Wands is like the success card. So they're feeling really positive. Like they're feeling like you're giving them the right signals. You're giving your person the right signals to know that they should feel confident in this, and that they can be successful in this situation. This might also be referring back to maybe some kind of financial problems that might be going on, or some problems with resources. It might be that they know that that's going to settle itself out, and so they're feeling confident about it. They're just thinking about it still, And then the World, we've got the World, but it's in the reverse, and that's why I kind of tie that in. They're worried though, emotionally, that maybe they can't give you what you want. It's almost like they feel like you already have so much that what could they possibly give you? Like you already have everything, that kind of thing. They feel like you're probably very, very independent. You probably at least come across as being very self-contained. Let's put it that way. But it's like they do have this fear that they don't have anything to add to your life, and it's like, it's so sad because like this person's so tenderhearted. They have such a beautiful disposition. I really feel like this person is such a special person. Like you definitely don't meet people like this. And I mean, almost everybody wants to say that about the person that they care about, but like this guy or girl, sorry, I'm for some reason I'm just stuck on these masculine pronouns today, and I apologize. I was doing it with another deck as well. This person, your person, really is special. A very special person. You really don't come across this kind of person very often. So yeah, they're just afraid that they don't have much to give you because you already have so much, or they see you as having so much. One thing you can do about that, I know we're about to go into their next course of action, then your best course of action, so we'll get there, but one thing you can do about this is giving them a lot of positive feedback for what they're doing. Just like, oh, I'm so happy. You really know how to make me feel better, that kind of stuff. Letting them know that there is some purpose they're serving in your life, that kind of thing, and help them feel more confident. I mean, they do feel confident though. It's just that they don't really know what they can offer, so keep that in mind. They do feel giving though. They feel in a giving disposition for you. Okay, so their next course of action, we've got the Knight of Pentacles, okay, the Ace of Cups, okay, and then we've got the Hermit in reverse. That's really interesting. They really, really want to come forward with you. They want to start something new with you, like replenish the relationship. So if you have been in a relationship with this person for a long time, know that this is going to kind of replenish itself. It's almost like it's a new birth. But for most of you, it's like this person's going to actually come forward and be more, they're going to be more revealing about their feelings for you and in this relationship, and their positive feelings. We know that because we've got the Knight of Pentacles who wants to manifest something, and they've got a message, they want to give you something. And the Knight of Pentacles moves very slowly. So this might be a long time coming for you. So it might even be kind of difficult to even believe that this might happen, but I do feel like this is about to happen with you guys. I would say, it's kind of hard to give timings in a general reading like this, but I would say this would be within the next couple of months, regardless of when you watch this, in the next couple of months, okay? And then we've got the Hermit in reverse. I feel like they've done their introspection. They've looked within. They know what to do next. And so now it's almost like it's not so much, the Hermit in reverse is still someone who's introspective and still somebody who might be more introverted, right? But they're coming out of their shell a little bit with you, right? They're willing to be more open. You're part of their inner circle, right? And they're going to make that very well known to you as well, if you don't know it already. So yeah, gosh, that's great. Okay, and then we've got your best course of action. Okay, so we've got the Wheel of Fortune. We have the Six of Pentacles. Okay. And we have the King of Swords. All right, don't be afraid to initiate conversations. They like hearing from you. They like talking to you. They always want to know what's on your mind. I feel like they are in a situation where they don't want to come across as too forward, which is probably funny because I would imagine that a lot of you probably also don't want to come across as too forward. But I mean, the communication has to come from somewhere. And this is your best course of action right now, is to initiate some communication, tell them what's on your mind. This Six of Pentacles, these sixes are coming up again. This is like kind of like a balancing out of, typically this is, you see this in, as somebody who kind of, it's almost like somebody who redistributes wealth. You know, we've got in a lot of the pictures, like here, just want to show you the picture on this particular deck. Okay. It's like this person, it's like they want to make everything all balanced out again. We've got the hands below, and I feel like they're just kind of giving out some of their resources. So I'm not telling you to help them out with like everything or anything like that. In fact, I read this recently and I believe it too. One of the worst things you can do for somebody is do something that they can do for themselves, right? But with the Six of Pentacles, it's like making some kind of gesture to try to balance the scales there, okay? This doesn't have to talk about money. This can have to do with like doing anything to kind of help the person feel like they're supported. That's really good. That's the best word for it, support. And then the Wheel of Fortune here, it's really interesting. The Wheel of Fortune can't really be in reverse because it's like, you know, it's the Wheel of Fortune either way. And, you know, the Wheel of Fortune is one of those things you always rise up and then you go down. This is kind of just being aware of that divine timing, being aware that sometimes it's not the right time for things to happen. So being aware of that maybe this is a situation that can't quite manifest right now, but it's about to. Just give it a couple of months. Can help guide you for what kinds of conversations to have with your person. Their feelings are definitely there. I would say be their friend, talk to them on that intellectual level and kind of get them thinking in creative ways and that kind of stuff. Because that's more of what they need in the situation. Maybe you are the person in this relationship that's more the thinking oriented person. You know, I've just noticed that you know, along with kind of feminine and masculine energy, that kind of tends to pair up in relationships. So kind of keep that in mind too with the King of Swords. But yeah. Okay, and what is the final outcome of this relationship? Okay, so we have the Ace of Swords, we have the Queen of Wands in reverse, and then we have the Empress. Oh, wow. Look at that, abundance and prosperity. Look at that. Oh, wow. So the Empress can also represent somebody who is with child. Please don't, I cannot make any kind of medical analysis, especially of somebody I can't even see, right? So I'm not necessarily saying that, but the Empress is often depicted as with a cornucopia, and they're with child, and they're nurturing, and they just take care of everything, and it's just so loving, and it's like abundance and all of that kind of stuff. A lot of creative energy too. Your relationship's going somewhere where you are able to create together. You're able to care for one another very well. You're going to have a lot of it's almost like the two of you are going to have a lot of that real it's you connect by creation. It's like you connect by having these aha moments with one another. I wouldn't be surprised if both of you guys in this situation are really intuitive, and you guys kind of have these synchronicities that happen every so often where you both kind of come to the same aha moment. But I just see you guys as helping each other so well. With the Queen of Wands in reverse, this isn't necessarily negative. This is just saying that we're not talking about maybe something that is the most, I want to say, passionate, the most fiery of situations. But that's not to say that it's not creative. That's not to say that they're not physically attracted to you. The one thing about the Empresses is that physical attraction, or anything like that. It's just, that's not it. That's it. You guys are basing this on something so much more than that. And this relationship can never just be something petty. I kind of feel like that's what the Queen of Wands is saying by coming up at this point. But this looks like really, really beautiful union between the two of you. So with a great final outcome. So yeah, a lot of abundance, a lot of positivity to look for. One thing that I keep kind of feeling like saying, but it feels wrong. So I don't even know if this is going to necessarily make sense for most of you. And I don't even know if this is even going to apply to most of you. But some of you guys need to hear this. If you're in a situation with your person right now where you're friends and you haven't gotten to that point where it's okay to be together romantically, that this is still a situation that can have a very, very happy ending for both of you, and you both get what you want out of it. And don't worry about sorting that stuff out. Whatever is preventing the two of you from being in a romantic relationship, don't worry about sorting that stuff out, because you guys just need to enjoy what you can give to one another right now, knowing that it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. It's going to become more and more abundant, that kind of thing. Okay. And I don't mean to be vague, but it's just, it's coming. That's exactly the way I'm supposed to say it. So hopefully that resonates. Okay, guys, I really, so far, this has been my favorite reading of the groups. Really, really beautiful message there. All right. Hi, pile number 6, or pile number 5, sorry. Those of you who picked the Wildwood Tarot. I love this. I love this deck. Now, I have already pre-shuffled these decks, all of them, but I do want to do it on camera so you trust me that they are shuffled. I didn't manipulate them in any way. So let's go ahead and get started with your reading. So what's going on with them? What are they thinking? What are their thoughts about you and the relationship? Okay. Okay. Wow. All right. I just want to look at this here. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. That makes sense. Okay, yeah. You guys might be going through some difficult times right now, okay? They're here. They're not going anywhere. It's really important to know. And what I'm getting from this might be really dark, and I don't feel like this is everybody. But for those of you who picked this, there might have been like a passing that is hitting them really hard. And it could be actually somebody that's connected to you, or it could be somebody that's connected to them, but it's affecting the relationship. Now, for those of you who that doesn't resonate, like, oh, that's not happening, understand that there's some kind of like, they need to move on from something. They don't have use for the way things have been in the situation, and they know that they have to move on. But they want to stay in it. We've got the endurance card. We've got this situation where even though they don't want to make you feel like, they don't want to abandon you. They're thinking about that. They don't want to abandon you. They don't want you to feel that, but they need time to themselves so that they can process something. Okay. And it's this kind of, whatever is kind of casting the shadow, but understand that they are steadfast with you. They do want to continue with this relationship. There's nothing, I don't feel like they want out of it or anything like that, but on their mind right now is that they've got to get past something. Okay. So that's what they're thinking about right now with the relationship, their feelings. Okay, so we've got that. We've got the archer. Okay, and then we've got the mirror. Okay, nice. So emotionally, they're feeling really vulnerable and they don't want you to know. They don't want you to know that they're feeling really vulnerable. Part of that has to do with whatever that shadow is over them. But another part of it has to do with how much they feel about you. Okay. They want to play, they want to be a little bit more distant from you, or appear that they're more distant from you than they actually are. This is number 5. This would be the Hierophant, or Hierophant. It depends on how you pronounce it, I guess. So I just do want to say that it's like they want to kind of get out of the emotional realm with you and talk more about what you guys can learn from one another. Okay. And so we're talking about feelings, but it's like their feelings are they're not trying to like hide from you necessarily. They're just feeling really vulnerable right now. And they want you to know, or this reading wants you to know that because of that, it's kind of painful to come forward right now with their emotions. That doesn't mean that they won't, though. And one way that we know this is we've got the 3 of Stones, creativity in reverse. So it's like they want to come out and be acknowledged. They want to acknowledge it. They want to say, hey, look, this is the way it is, and all of that. But that's being blocked right now. And I feel like that's being blocked by what's on their mind. Okay. I feel like this person's just in a dark place. I don't necessarily feel like it's permanent or anything like that. They're just in a dark place right now, and they're not able to fully express themselves. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So what is their next course of action going to be? Oh, we've got the Fool in reverse. Oh, this is a good one. The Ace of Bows. So this would be like the Ace of Wands. Okay. Spark of Life. And then we've got the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. So when their luck changes, basically, the Wheel of Fortune can't ever really be in reverse because it's the same thing, It's still the wheel. When their luck starts going the other direction, when they start feeling more up, that's when they're going to come forward with you. And I'm not getting a very solid time frame, and I wish that I was, because it would help. But since this is a general reading and not a private reading, I can't really get into that. But it will happen. They're gonna get back up again. They will be a little cautious still, okay? But that doesn't mean that they don't want to begin this journey with you. It doesn't mean that they don't want to continue down the path, okay? Because this is what they're feeling, right? They just want to be cautious, all right? And the Ace of Bows, the Spark of Life, we're talking about their next course of action is going to be very fiery, very passionate, which is great. I mean, that's really great. It might even have, I've noticed this creative, because we have creativity right here. It might even be almost like a burst of creation. Maybe your person's a musician or an artist of some sort or something like that. And it might come through like their art, or maybe their writing or something like that. So kind of keep that in mind too, that it might be through a hobby, that they're able to express that through you. Okay. And what your best course of action is, we've got the 2 of Stones. Okay. Challenge. Okay. We've got... Okay, so this is the Empress. Okay, it's in this particular deck. It's called the Green Woman. Okay, and then we have, the 10 of Stones, Home. All right. Okay, so this is really good. Make sure that you are really getting them to get into their emotions about whatever they're going through and whatever's going on. You just need to be there for support, help them feel secure, give them nurture. You might kind of feel like you're holding up the relationship right now. That's okay. They're kind of down, okay? But they will bring it, okay? I do not feel like this is a imbalance or anything like that. this is a situation where you've just got to, if they might be kind of down on themselves in a way that might seem, it might seem like they're, it might like self-pity or maybe like wallowing. They might be kind of stuck in this mindset like that. Make sure that you challenge them. Just make sure that you're telling them that, they're a good person, that they're strong, they're going to get through whatever it is that they're trying to get through, and that kind of stuff, and all of that. With the green woman, I love this picture, and it references a myth, a Celtic myth that's really beautiful. I won't go into it because I'd be talking for forever, but this is all about abundance. This is about how just it's going to get there, and it's about just giving and giving of yourself, but not in a way that you are not in a way that you're depriving yourself of anything. You can't give what you don't have, but it's you will feel yourself refreshed by giving to this relationship right now, and just kind of being that firm foundation, that home to them, that shelter. Okay. I feel like they're going to be coming to you a lot. And then what's the final outcome of this relationship? Okay. All right. Okay. Very nice. Okay, so we've got a big transformation happening, okay? It's not going to be as huge as if this was in the upright position, but we do have a transformation happening, okay? And with the 9 of Vessels with generosity, I just kind of feel like that still, it's going to feel a little bit blocked for a while, that it's a give and take situation. But we do have like this foundation of life kind of being in reverse, which means like that foundation, it's there. It's got to become more strong. Okay. And what I love about the final outcome is nothing's ever set in stone, right? So you've got a situation where it's like build on the friendship, build on the part of the relationship that is real solid, and understand that at least right now, the person isn't able to give of themselves as much as they would like, okay? And understand that there is a transformation happening, a positive transformation. I'm going to go ahead and ask clarifying. We need some more clarification. If they are able to put a little bit more care into this and nurture this relationship, what will the outcome be then? Okay, so we have the 4 of Arrows, rest, calm, okay? And then we have the 10 of Bows, responsibility. Okay, yeah. So again, we have this is kind of going within. This would be the same as the 4 of Swords in a traditional deck. Understand that the arrows are around them, but they're not hitting. They didn't hit him. Okay, and I'm using him to describe the person on the card. Okay, they didn't hit him. It's just like. It's just like they're resting. They're able to finally be calm and finally be at peace. Okay. So this transformation will bring peace. Okay. And then we've got the 10 of Bows with responsibility. We've got that in reverse. And I really feel like it's like, as long as you're able to give of yourself right now, we've got that in a situation where the response, like, it's like they'll come around, they'll be able to take care of this relationship. Again, another clarification on that. Yeah, we've got a rebirth here. With the 8 of Vessels, we've got a rebirth. Okay, so again, it's the same thing over and over and over again. They're be at peace. There's going to be this transformation. Things are going to become reborn. Everything's going to get better. It's just about sticking through it. One thing that I feel about this relationship that, I really want to make sure is clear is that I don't think that a lot of people would be in this situation unless they felt very, very strongly about this situation, okay? So if you aren't feeling 100%, I would say to just kind of maybe try to bow out of the relationship, only because this is still going to be a little bit of a struggle to get where you guys are going to be, okay? And because of that struggle, I just want to make sure you guys are informed that according to this reading, at least, you're going to still have to kind of fight for this relationship. Your person will fight for it too, though. They want to, okay? But you are going to have to fight for this relationship and kind of work on it, okay? That's the kind of relationship this is. That doesn't mean it's any less than any other one, but it is something that it's like, if you're at a point where it's all like, I don't want to do that work, I just want things to kind of come easier, or whatever, then this might not be the best situation for you, okay? I'm not seeing anything real negative or anything like that. I'm seeing transformation, rebirth. It's great stuff, but I'm just also seeing that it's going to be a journey. It's going to be kind of a rocky journey here and there, and that can be, sometimes the most rewarding, but it can also be kind of like a bummer as well. And I just want to make sure you guys know that that's what I'm getting, okay? Alrighty, guys, thank you guys so much for watching to the end of this video. I really appreciate it. I wanted to let you know that either tomorrow or the next day, because I am in the States and tomorrow is Thanksgiving, it's a holiday, we're going to do December predictions, okay? And somebody asked, or somebody suggested that I go back to doing my weekly readings. I do want to say they're not as popular as the other videos that I was putting out, at least back then. But I was thinking that that's probably what I'm going to do. I haven't made up my mind yet about that, but I think that I'm going to do that. I will do one for every month. As far as like the predictions, the weekly predictions, I think I'm going to try to do something like that. Okay. I just don't know what the time frame will be. It might be like every 2 weeks or something like that. Haven't gotten to that point yet. So again, let's just kind of reset here. We've got, either Thursday or Friday, most likely Thursday, we're going to do the predictions for December. Then on Saturday, we have a intuition exercise with Turi, which is like, I'm really looking forward to this. And he's going to just kind of give you a little exercise to help with your own intuition. It's not a guided meditation. It's something else. But it should be fun. At least I think it'll be fun. And, we've got merchandise, and I've got the link there. We are having our Black Friday sale right now. So all you have to do is put in the code SAVE, SAVE, all in caps, to get 20% off any orders you make through our little store. And we do have some new apparel coming very soon. That'll be apparel having to do with twin flames and soulmates. So I do want to kind of mention that. Turi has actually sent me one of the drafts of it just today. So yeah, we're working on that as well. So that said, thank you guys again. Again, the best thing you can do for me would just be to give that feedback, share this with a friend if you enjoyed it. Or at least like this. If you're not subscribed, you could subscribe. And I mean, I'm going to be putting out videos a lot, so you will get a lot of content. You turn on your notifications if they're not on, so you always know when I have a video out. Leave a comment. Basically, tell YouTube that I'm a great contributor, because that's what will help my channel grow the best. And for me, it's like, I don't really care how many subscribers I have, I don't really care about that stuff, but I know that I reach more people when I'm able to be seen, okay? And I just really feel called to, start this channel up again, and I just want to make sure that it's reaching as many people as possible, because we want to share all of the love here. So thank you again, and I will see you at our next reading.